from the home of the three-piece combos, Pugilism Company. This is Reed BBS. BBS. Blackbird Sugar, Bachelor's in Boxing Studies. Pugilism Company, we're not quite into our first full year of podcasting. That won't happen until March 2019, but we've been doing the website thing for a couple years now. We really appreciate the support. And, we're looking to keep this moving, man. Stick with us. 1,000 subscribers and running to live streams. Anyway, this one here, we're gonna touch on a couple topics. First and foremost, Floyd Mayweather versus Tenshin Nasukawa on Rising. 3-round exhibition. They didn't even dare try to sell this or promote this to American audiences because no one would have bitten. No one would have, there was no fish here to take that bait. And I'm hoping there wasn't too many fish. My Asian persuasion brothers and sisters, I hope not too many of y'all were fish willing to take the bait also to see a legend like Floyd in the ring. Anybody who paid to see this, you got. You got. You were had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok. You got. Simple as that. You got. You got. And at some point it becomes, okay, am I into this? Do I like boxing or do I like certain boxers? Do I like and love boxing or do I like or love certain boxers? Is it the sport or the individual for you? And that's a question we all have to ask ourselves. And there's no right or wrong answer. I'm not sitting here trying to be an elitist or anything of the sort, but I'm just letting you know, we all start as a fan of an individual. Muhammad Ali lured me right in, followed by Sugar Ray Leonard, followed by Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker, followed by Roy Jones. But through the course of those fighters who kept my interest peaked, I developed love for all. You run the gamut of all kind of different fighters from all walks of life. Like, it wouldn't matter. Ray Boom Boom Mancini, Roberto Duran, Prince Nassim Hamed, Salvador Sanchez, Alexis Arguello. Like, you could literally rattle them off. And now I like Inoue, Naoya Inoue. I like Srisaket Sorarung Visa. Like, this doesn't come out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I've just watched the sport for so long to where my allegiance is now more towards the sport than in any particular individual. That being said, so Floyd, 5'8", 147 pounds. He's fighting Tenshin Nasukawa, 5'4", 137 pounds, at least for the fight. My man actually competes at 126. Now, he's undefeated, 32-0, 24 KOs. That's his combined mixed martial arts and kickboxing record. But here's the thing about it. Contractually, he wasn't allowed to kick or throw spinning back fists. He basically wasn't allowed to do any mixed martial arts or kickboxing whatsoever. And if he even threw a kick at Floyd, allegedly he would have faced a fine of $5 million. I'm not sure if his fight purse equated to $5 million. So there was no way, even let's say if he did make $5 million, he wasn't about to risk his whole fight purse trying to prove a point, knocking Floyd out or catching him off guard or something. Floyd, man, his body, I've seen all of his fights, seen every single one of them. His body's never looked softer, like ever. Never looked softer. I'm guessing he probably did mid work and some light sparring. Yeah, he probably sparred once or twice, maybe like Tuesday, Wednesday last week or something. Got his feet wet a little bit, probably did a mile on the treadmill, maybe 2-3 miles on the treadmill. But yeah, he didn't take this serious at all. And he looked way too relaxed. And he was just completely unconcerned during the fighter intros. Leonard Ellerbe cheesing. Like, not a care in the world or the slightest degree of worry for his boy in this unknown scenario. Like, at least against McGregor, there was kind of like that. They're still kind of like, this is the unknown. But this here seemed to be completely scripted, drafted up, almost like they did rehearsals and shit for it or something. Floyd even had his favorite ref, Kenny Bayless, boxing ref, Kenny Bayless. So, like, the deck couldn't have been more stacked against Tension. It couldn't have been stacked clearly more against him in any way, shape, or fashion. Fact of the matter is, Floyd's children are bigger than Tension. Like, they just are. That's why I rattled off his size and weight. Floyd's kids are bigger than Tension. Floyd was literally laughing at old boy as the round began. He was stalking him like a serial killer behind a high guard. It looked like he grazed Tension with a left hook. But my man, he fell to the ground. He was flailing and flapping his arms around like a fish out of water. He was exaggerating the effects of the blows. It was, I want to say it's comical, but it was just so obviously staged. It wasn't even funny to me. He did get up. He fought back. He was catching Floyd on the gloves. He landed some body shots. But then Floyd landed a double right hook, like to the body and head. Wop, wop. And that right hook to the head landed nice. Like, I ain't even going to front on that. It landed nice. Dropped Tension again. At this point, Floyd is selling. He's being extra demonstrative. Like, he's mocking Tension. He's doing a stanky leg and all this. A little bit later, he landed a right to the forehead. Didn't look that hard again. He dropped Tension for the third time. Tension over-exaggerated the effects. Again, he was flapping and flailing like a fish out of water. It was just a bad look overall, man. Again, I harken back to the sport or the individual. Are you leaving the game in a better place than it was when you got involved with it? Today was not an example of that for sure. Now, I keeps it real. Muhammad Ali had exhibitions. He had exhibitions against former wrestlers and dudes from different disciplines and sports and whatnot. But none of Ali's exhibitions were this controlled or scripted. He fought a pro wrestling dude, Antonio Inoki, way bigger dude. Antonio Inoki was kicking the mess out of Ali's legs. Like, they just threw him in there and didn't know what would transpire. They just put him in there. Ali did likewise with a former wrestler named Gorilla Monsoon. And he did an exhibition way late in his career with a former football player named Lyle Alzado, who was notorious for taking steroids. So that's what that is, man. And this was a far cry from what we've seen. Far cry from what we've seen in other exhibitions. Of course, Manny Pacquiao was quick to respond. He sent out a message saying, "This is an early New Year's resolution to continue to only fight experienced opponents who are my size or bigger." And that's smart on Pacquiao's behalf, because he's going to have to shame or coerce or shit talk Floyd into fighting him. After what I saw today, Floyd ain't beating Manny, dude. He's not beating Manny Pacquiao. So Manny will have to verbally make this happen, like speak it into existence big time. Simple as that. Before I bounce, subscribe, like, comment, and share. We're going to touch on Mikey Garcia's muscle pick real quick. Like, man, again, one of my favorite fighters. I'm sure y'all tired of hearing me say it. Both of these guys, two of my top 5 favorite fighters, Errol Spence, Mikey Garcia, they're fighting each other, as you all know. Obviously, with this muscle pick, it raises a cloud of suspicion. And in particular, it's based on how quickly Mikey's body is showing results from Victor Conte's involvement. What has it been, 2 weeks? Like 2 weeks now, your body looks better than it ever has. You're already on weight, basically, or effectively. Body looks soft against Broner, looks soft against Lipinets at 140. You've never really been a defined fighter, but, I mean, okay, man, maybe it's gamesmanship. Maybe it's gamesmanship on behalf of Team Mikey. They're probably wanting to put it out there. Hey, yeah, let's hire Victor Conte. Let's make Team Spence think that we might be juicing. One extra thing that they may or may not be worried about. And with that, you have Willie Monroe Jr., who, was very much publicly affiliated with Victor Conte's snack program. Then, of course, Conte's history with Balco. Here's the thing. Mikey's moving up, and throughout history, when Michael Spinks fought Larry Holmes, he used Mackie Shieldstone. When Roy Jones moved up to fight John Ruiz, he used the same Mackie Shieldstone. They didn't use, I think even Holyfield, when he went from cruiserweight to heavyweight, he used Mackie Shieldstone. But Victor Conte, that's just, again, man, you're almost guilty by association. I really don't want to say that, but it's just not a good look. Like I said in my last podcast on the matter, it's just not a good look. It's not a good look. And with that, be careful on how much muscle mass you gain, especially if you're trying to fight Lomachenko at 135 down the line. Because, again, I referenced Roy Jones. When he bulked up to heavyweight, the worst mistake he made was moving back down to 175 to face Antonio Tarver. Even though he won the first fight, he was never the same again. And, the rest of that played out like it did. But, yeah, Conte, it all needs to get more boxing specific eventually, or at least I will, on what I'm hearing and trying to peep out and all of that. He's talking about beat the boogeyman Spence. It's just all kind of out there, man. It's all over the place. And now he's got, apparently Mikey's got 2 undefeated southpaws in sparring with him. 160-pound dude, 147-pound dude. Of course, Bunny Easter was taller than EJ and rangier than EJ. But the fact of the matter is, have you been hit with 8-ounce gloves by a dude like Earl Spence? We'll see what happens, man. It just makes the fight more and more intriguing. I'm just hoping that, again, as I stated, Mikey has checks and balances in place to where he's got people watching what Victor Conte's putting in his system. I don't want him to get caught up or have his name tarnished by association. Anyway, subscribe, like, comment, and share. Love tap, bitch slap that like button. From the home of the 3-piece combos, Pugilism Company. This is Reed, BBS, Black Birch Sugar, Bachelor's in Boxing Studies. When all is said and done, there's nothing left to say or do.